So the party of Jacob Zuma, the Umkhonto weSizwe party, it has turned down the love letter from the ANC. It is very bad, man. We know the DA and the Freedom Front Plus, and these two political parties are in the GNU with the ANC. They have actually refused to vote with the ANC to get the fiscal framework that includes the 0.5 VAT increase over the line in Parliament. And the ANC started to speak about the reset of the GNU, the reconfiguration of the GNU. So the ANC said that we are going to open up the GNU again, and we are going to invite other political parties inside the GNU, because it looks like these people that we are in the GNU with cannot be trusted anymore. We cannot trust these people that are inside the GNU with us, because we are the African National Congress. We want to pin down South Africans with the taxes. We don't want to cut the bloated cabinet. We don't want to cut the perks of the members of parliament. We don't want to cut the perks of the people in government, but we want South Africans to continue to subsidize our lives. We want South Africans to continue to subsidize the criminality and the corruption that is happening in government. And these two political parties are refusing to vote with us. So we are going to open up a GNU again to invite other political parties. And the MK party says, no, we don't want anything to do with that. We don't want anything to do with that. And you remember, guys, initially, the position of the MK party and the EFF is that we are not going to enter in the GNU as long as the DA is there, as long as the Freedom Front Plus is there. But right now, it seems like the MK party says that, no, we don't want anything to do with that government of national unity. We don't want anything to do with that government of national unity. So for now, we know that the ANC has met with the EFF. They have met with the EFF, and in couple of days ago, the EFF basically released a statement saying that the EFF statement on meeting with the African National Congress, a delegation of the economic freedom fighters led by the President Commander-in-Chief Julius Malema met with the leadership team of the African National Congress, led by the Secretary-General Fikile Mbalula, this afternoon, the 11th of April 2025, at the Southern Sun Hotel in Sandton. The ANC delegation consisted of Fikile Mbalula, the ANC Secretary-General and Chair of the ANC delegation to the meeting, Gwede Mantashe, ANC National Chairperson, Gwen Ramokgopa, ANC Treasurer General, Nomvula Mokonyane, ANC's First Deputy Secretary General, Maropene Ramokgopa, the ANC's Second Deputy Secretary General, David Makura, ANC NEC member and Head of Political Education, Zuko Godlimpi, ANC NEC member and Chair of the Economic Transformation Committee, Pakstau, ANC NEC member, Mahlengi Bengu Mutsiri, ANC NEC member and the national spokesperson, and Comrade Andries Nel, ANC legal advisor. So this is the delegation of the ANC, and the delegation of the EFF consisted of Julius Malema, the president of the EFF, the Secretary General of the EFF, Marshall Dlamini, the Deputy Secretary General of the EFF, Lee N. Matthews, Treasurer General of the EFF, Umpile Mautwe, National Spokesperson of the EFF, Sinawo Tambo and Thembi Msane, EFF Head of Presidency, Vuyani Pambo, EFF Senior Researcher, Dr. Gumani Tsimulula. And the statement of the EFF basically said that the meeting follows months of uncertainty around the national budget for 2025, and particularly the recent passing of the fiscal framework and revenue proposals for 2025 in the National Assembly on the 3rd of April 2025. The EFF reaffirmed its principled rejection of a 0.5 percentage point in value-added tax for the year of 2025 as a mechanism to generate revenue. Our rejection of VAT hikes was exhibited by our vote against the adoption of the Standing Committee on Finances report in the National Assembly, which was a product of a flawed and irregular process that is now subjected to the judicial review. The discussion reflected on the importance of resolving the budget impasse while ensuring that the poorest of the poor are safeguarded through the economic planning. I hate this term. You see this term that the poorest of the poor, the poorest of the poor. Velenkosi Hlabisa, the leader of IFP, he actually made me hate this term because he came out and said that this VAT increase, it is going to improve the lives of the poorest of the poor. So ever since that leader of IFP came out and said that increasing the VAT on the lives of the people of this country that are already struggling is going to improve their lives. I don't want to hear poorest of the poor anymore. Anybody who says the poorest of the poor, man, I'm going to lose my mind. The EFF wants to make it categorically clear that we are under no illusion that there is any legislative possibility of reversing the VAT increase, which were supported in the fiscal framework and revenue proposals by various political parties in the Standing Committee on Finance and subsequently in the National Assembly. Our engagement with the ANC must therefore not be mistaken as a participation in fruitless exercise to seek alternatives to the VAT increase within 30 days under the false hope that such alternatives will be implemented before the 1st of May 2025. This is simply not practical, realistic, or legislatively permissible. So it looks like EFF right now, they are talking that popular language. They are speaking what South Africans want to hear. And this is the truth. There is no way that the VAT increase is going to be reversed. There is no way. All these political parties can go to the ANC and submit their proposals and think that the ANC is going to implement all of these things that they said in their proposals before the 1st of May. It is a lie. They are not going to do that. So shout out to the EFF, man. Shout out to the EFF for speaking the language of the people on the ground. All political parties which voted in support of the fiscal framework and revenue proposals, which included the VAT increase, must take responsibility for the actions and desist from the giving of the people of South Africa false hope that non-binding recommendations can reverse what they supported. This is what we spoke about. You remember Action SA, they spoke about these recommendations that they made to the ANC, and we told them time and time again that these recommendations are non-binding. These are non-binding recommendations. So South Africans must actually not be lied by these political parties that actually think that the ANC is going to implement these things, these recommendations of theirs that are non-binding. The ANC is going to push through with the 0.5 VAT increase. The EFF correctly made its proposed amendments, which were permissible under the Money Bills Amendment Procedure and Other Related Matters Act, during the Standing Committee on Finance meeting on the 2nd of April 2025, and additionally submitted these proposals, which were not captured in the committee report, to the Minister of Finance. Additionally, we have since circulated a comprehensive document containing our sensible alternative revenue generation mechanism to the public. The EFF engagement with the ANC are part and parcel of the road towards the upcoming budget process and form part of the ANC's outreach to other political parties in its claimed effort to reset or reconfigure the government of national unity. This was a first round of this engagement, and the EFF will provide updates to the nation as a necessary on program regarding these negotiations. Our position with regards to participation in the GNU and support for any legislation that is a product of GNU government constituted by the DA and Freedom Fund Plus remains clear and consistent. So the EFF is very tough on this position that we are not going to join anything that actually has the DA in the Freedom Fund Plus. We are not going to do that. And this is the same position that the MK party had before. But now the MK party is singing in different tune. But we're going to get to that. The EFF will not support any financial piece of legislation that will be presided over by racists who reject such legislation yet want to continue operating in cabinet using budget they did not support. So this language of the EFF, it is the language that Paul Mashatile, the deputy president of the ANC, is speaking, that we need to get these people out. These people did not support us when we wanted to get the fiscal framework over the line. So there is no way that we're going to allow these people to go out and implement the policies using the budget that they did not support. So the EFF says that no, these people did not support what the ANC wanted to do, so they should not be allowed to go out and implement the policies using the budget that they did not support. But somehow, for some reason, the EFF is in the same position with these political parties because they also did not support that fiscal framework of the ANC. Furthermore, the EFF will only participate in the GNU on the condition that it does not include the Democratic Alliance and Freedom Fund Plus, who are the center of the chaos and confusion in occurring in government today. So the EFF, for some reason, they are blaming the DA and the Freedom Front Plus for the confusion in the government today. So the problem is not the ANC. Just like with Action SA, the problem is not the ANC, but the problem is other political parties inside the GNU. And I find this very problematic. I find this very problematic because even if the DA and Freedom Front Plus can leave the GNU, they can leave the GNU, and the EFF can come, and maybe Umkhonto we Sizwe party can come. They are going to find what other political parties have been saying all along, that the problem, it is the ANC. The ANC, it is the problem. And this is the question that Herman Mashaba had to answer on national television, that you keep speaking about how wild and insane and irrational the DA is. So do you think in terms of partnerships, the DA, it is a worse political party compared to the ANC? Which political party is worse when it comes to working with other political parties? Do you think that political party, it is the ANC, or do you think that political party, it is the DA? So right now, it seems like the EFF is saying the same thing, that these two political parties are the ones that are actually causing confusion in government. So they blame the DA and Freedom Front Plus instead of actually blaming a political party that has been in charge of this country for the past 30 years, a political party that has landed us where we are today. They are not blaming that political party. They are not blaming that political party, but they are blaming political parties that are in government with that political party. Don't you think that this is a bit problematic? Don't you think that this is a bit problematic? I think it is. I don't want to lie. I think that it is. So, despite the EFF saying that they don't want to get into governance as long as the DA is there, as long as the Freedom Front Plus is there, we have learned that over the weekend the ANC have actually met with the Democratic Alliance to actually iron out their issues. They want to iron out their issues. They want to iron out their issues. And the DA came out and said that, no, those meetings were productive, man. Those meetings were productive. And this is the same language that the ANC is using. This is the same language that the ANC is using. So at this point, it seems like the DA is not going to leave the government of national unity. At this point, it seems like the DA is not going to leave the government of national unity. And I think this actually makes a lot of people very insane, especially with what the deputy president of the ANC, Paul Mashatile, has actually been pushing for. I'm sorry, guys, my PC is flat, so I'm trying to get the charge. So at this point, it seems like the DA, it is not going anywhere. It is not going anywhere. And the deputy president of the ANC is not happy at all. Paul Mashatile is not happy at all. Paul Mashatile has been speaking, and this guy has been very silent for a very long time. He has not said anything. Paul Mashatile has been silent as a cat. Thanks, man. Thank you, baby. So Paul Mashatile has been very silent as a cat. But recently he has been very outspoken, especially when it comes to kicking out these political parties. But some people are saying that, no, Paul Mashatile is now speaking because he wants to get rid of Ramaphosa in 2027. The faction of Paul Mashatile is sick and tired of Cyril Ramaphosa. So they know that if they get rid of the DA, so Ramaphosa is basically done. So now, it seems like the ANC has actually met with the DA, and just listen to what the federal chair of the DA is saying.
Well, I think we were very frank with each other. We spoke directly. It was very constructive, but we didn't mince our words. We all agreed that you need to have a rules-based GNU, but it has to start with the foundation stone of the statement of intent that we negotiated in June last year, and everything can build on that. And once we respect the statement of intent, we can certainly extend that to create rules for various different forms of engagement and decision-making. Well, there has never been a decision to leave the GNU, so there doesn't have to be a decision to stay in the GNU. We continue in the GNU, we continue to push the envelope, we continue to drive a growth and jobs agenda. We realize it's not going to be easy, but we brought into a big challenge, and that was to ensure that we rescue South Africa and we use the GNU to get economic growth, to remove the obstacles to growth, and to ensure that more people get into jobs. That is our objective here, and that is why we flex our muscles and fight for the people against a VAT increase and for economic reforms that will lead to growth and jobs.
So it looks like I don't want to say it is a dream of the EFF to essentially kick out the DA in the GNU. It seems like it is not going to work, because listening from these two political parties and the statement that they've made after their meeting, it seems like they are going to fix out their issues. It looks like they are going to fix out their issues. So Umkhonto weSizwe says that no, we are not going to allow these people to use us. This is what Floyd Shivambu is saying. We are not going to allow the ANC to use us to fight their internal battles with the DA. This is not what we are going to do. So Floyd Shivambu actually had a brief conversation with SABC outside a venue. We know that over the weekend the Umkhonto weSizwe party was celebrating Jacob Zuma. It was a birthday. The man turned 83 years old. So the political party was actually celebrating him throughout the country. So Floyd Shivambu and the man himself, Jacob Zuma, they were in Soweto. And on the sidelines, they got to speak about this love letter of the ANC that was sent and rejected by the Umkhonto weSizwe party. So this is what the Secretary General of the Umkhonto weSizwe party is saying about the supposed love letter from the ANC.
Going to be did you receive a letter from Fikile Mbalula? Will you be meeting the ANC on the fiscal budget framework of the country and the budget? Then lastly, the MK's posture on President Donald Trump's view of South Africa, and in particular him saying that he may not be coming to the G20 summit.
No, look, we got a letter from the ANC Secretary General, and we responded to say we do not want to enter into domestic affairs of the government, or so-called government of national unity.
So-called. So-called government of national unity.
If they've got budget impasse, it's their own issue. They've constituted a government with representatives of the colonial system, of racism, of apartheid. So they must see to finish as to how they handle their own issues. They can't utilize us as some spare wheel which they're going to utilize to scare the Democratic Alliance. That no, for them to win their immediate gains, they will go to MK, and then MK will then rush as if we're desperate for power. We know that as
and honestly, this is a very good point from the MK party. This is a very good point. I don't want to lie, because all of us actually got to witness how the ANC operates. We got to witness how the ANC operates with this very interesting, because the ANC says that, okay, we are going to form a government of national unity, and the government of national unity consists of, I think, 10 political parties. And when they don't get their way, they get outside of the government of national unity to get the support from the political parties that are outside of the GNU. And this is what other political parties in the GNU actually have a problem with, that you guys are supposed to negotiate with us. We are supposed to fight and debate about some of these issues that are concerning us, that are concerning the country. We are supposed to fight about these issues. So what does it mean when you guys go out and actually get the support from the political parties that are not part of the government? This is what Action SA and the likes of Build One South Africa have actually done by assisting the ANC about the matters that were supposed to be discussed internally. So MK party is very wise to say that we are not going to allow the ANC to use us, because they can see that whenever things are going downwards for the ANC gets out of the GNU to try to get the support. When the partners in the GNU cannot agree, when the partners in the GNU cannot agree with what the ANC is proposing, the ANC is always willing to go out to speak with other political parties so that they can push whatever that they want to push. So the MK party, I must say that this is very wise of them to say that we are not going to allow the ANC to use us in their internal battles inside the GNU. We are not going to do that. So shout out to the MK party. They have actually seen what the ANC has done with the likes of Action SA and Build One South Africa, because if the ANC had principles, because they always talk about the principles, they would have debated these issues internally inside the GNU instead of going outside the GNU and getting support from the political parties that are not even in government. So the MK party says, no, you are not going to use us like that. You are not going to use us like that. So shout out to the MK party, and I must say that this is a very strong point from Floyd Shivambu.
To win their immediate gains, they will go to MK, and then MK will then rush as if we're desperate for power. We know that as Mkhonto we Sizwe will represent majority of the people of South Africa. We are not desperate.
I Floyd Shivambu, man, I just agreed with you, man. Please, man, don't make me disagree with you 5 seconds after I've agreed with you, man. It looks like I'm a hypocrite right now, man. Don't do me like that, man. Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that, man. We cannot agree on a very fair point that you have made, that the ANC is trying to use you. It's trying to use you like a scrap. But right now, you are saying that the MK party represents the majority of the people in this country, man. Like, no, man. Don't do that.
Majority of the people of South Africa were not desperate to enter into power through the ANC coalition or arrangement. We can take power single-handedly as an organization. We've got the necessary capacity to take power by ourselves. That is why less than 6 months into existence, Mkhonto we Sizwe could get upward of 14% of the vote in South Africa and have an outright majority in the province of KwaZulu-Natal in terms of the votes that were announced by the IEC, not in terms of the true reflection of the outcomes which we are still contesting now. So the ANC has written to us. We have responded to say that we do not want to enter into domestic affairs of the so-called government of national unity. Let them deal with their issues. We have got the relevant platforms as MK where we're going to articulate our position in terms of what is to be done in relation to the budgeting framework, in terms of the money bills that are still going to serve before Parliament. But one thing for sure is that as long as the government of national unity or any government includes the Democratic Alliance and all these other aspects, we are not going to allocate any budget as Mkhonto we Sizwe to representatives of oppression to expand on land, on basic education. We will never support that budget. That is one issue which we've...
So this is what the MK party say. This is what the MK party say, man. And you know, guys, sometimes when people are right, man. When people are right, and the MK party is spot on, absolutely spot on. And they can see the game of the ANC. They can see the game of the ANC. That they are going to use you, man. They are going to use you. They are going to use you. So unfortunately, other people, man, the likes of Hamid Mashaba, Musibeba, like, unfortunately for those people, man, they cannot see the game. But Floyd Shivambu, like, he can see the game clearly. He can see the game clearly. He can see the game clearly. That the ANC is trying to use the MK party. The ANC knows that the MK party has huge chunk of support. I mean, like 14%, it is not a game. 14%, it is not a game. And if they can get MK party on their side, they know that they're going to be able to push through everything that they want. They propose something inside the GNU. If the partners in the GNU are like, no, we don't want that. No, they go to the MK party and say, MK party, we need to push through with this thing. And the MK party says that, no, we are not desperate to be in government. So we are not going to be used as croplaps by the ANC. We are not going to allow the ANC to do that to us. So shout out to the MK party, man, for actually turning down that love letter from the ANC. Shout out to the MK party, man. So, guys, what do you think, man? Please tell me what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button and the most important part, subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.